dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky. This is WYNT Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Good morning, I'm Taylor Upchurch. Today is Saturday, March 16th. Let's check in with meteorologist Paige Noel for a look at your forecast this morning. Paige, compared to yesterday's temperatures, this morning didn't seem quite as warm.
Nope, definitely not as warm. It's maybe as cold as it is in the studio right now, but check out the temperature change from the past 24 hours. So we are about 20 degrees cooler than we were at this time yesterday, so we're definitely going to see those cooler temperatures continue throughout the day. Those temperatures into the lower 30s, some spots even into the upper 20s. And really the sad news is we are going to see those cooler temperatures continue, but sunshine is on the way. So as we look down into downtown Whitesburg, the good news is we are not dealing with that patchy fog this morning. We are dealing with those clear skies, and sunshine will make a return as we head into the afternoon hours. Satellite and radar, you'll notice those clouds up into the Big Sandy region really got out of here overnight. We'll really continue to see those mostly sunny skies throughout the day, but we're also going to see the cooler temperature trend over the next few days. And also we're going to talk about next week's forecast, which features a little bit warmer temperatures, but also maybe even some scattered showers. We'll talk about that and more coming up in just a little bit. Taylor.
Thank you, Paige. And in sports, another big day is in the works for the Bluegrass today. Kentucky takes on Tennessee for a rubber match tonight. That matchup was made possible after the Cats manhandled Alabama last night. Will Puckett has fan reaction from the Music City.
Good morning from the corner of Fifth Avenue and Broadway outside of Bridgestone Arena, where Kentucky is getting ready to take on a Tennessee team that they split a regular season series with. Now, before they met up with Tennessee, the Cats had a game almost controlled from the get-go against Alabama. Fans saying getting Reed Travis back was huge, but the play of Tyler Hero may have been the even bigger part of the game. And as they walked into the chilly night air in Nashville, fans are just pumped that the Cats took down the Crimson Tide.
I thought it was great, just from the beginning to the end. I mean, never in doubt. Go Cats.
Go Cats.
Oh, it was great. We needed him the whole time, but Hero was a beast tonight.
They blew him out early, and then Alabama made a little run, but this never was a game.
They say it starts with Ashton Hagans, but I think Tyler Hero, because you just watch him, he's all over the place. And that's what wins our games.
3:30, ESPN, the Kentucky Wildcats versus the Tennessee Volunteers, a matchup made for basketball fans. We'll have much more from the Music City later on tonight, but for now, outside of Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Will Puckett, WYMT Mountain News.
Will Puckett and Willie Hope will continue our coverage tonight at 6:30 on H&I after Kentucky and Tennessee battle it out for a chance at the SEC crown at 3:30 on ESPN. And our sister station caught up with Coach Cal's family to get an inside scoop on what it's like growing up in the spotlight. We have more from his daughter, Erin Calipari.
In the last 10 seconds, I've gotten 8 notifications, because anytime I tweet anything, it's just for the next 2 hours, it's just hundreds of notifications.
Erin Calipari has grown up in the spotlight, and probably the brightest has been her dad's time at the University of Kentucky. As an adult, the oldest of the Calipari children, Dr. Erin Calipari is a researcher at Vanderbilt University Medical Center studying addiction. When she's out of the lab, she's also known for her quick and witty responses to those that both love and hate her family.
It's amazing the things people will say to you. But I don't know, it's kind of I think I'm more likely to do it if people are insulting my family or people that I care about than myself.
Calipari says her Twitter feed is often split between science and sports, and not a lot gets past her without a response. While she doesn't stand for others giving her brother Brad a hard time, she says that's reserved for her only.
You know, he's the Italian son, so you have to keep him balanced, right? The parents are building him up, and then the siblings are from keeping him humble. And so that is my role.
She isn't the only Calipari making a name for herself on social media. Her mom, Ellen, has become a regular on Instagram. Her hilarious posts include making fun of Coach Cal, life, and of course her family. The jump into the online world makes this daughter happy for the mom she loves and adores.
And so it's so inspiring to see her just be herself out in public now and see the person that I always knew she was. Other people get to see how awesome she is.
And we want to remind you about Hoops Hysteria on WYMT.com and your chance to play our NCAA tournament bracket game. You can also compete against some of the WYMT staff and also win a 65-inch smart TV. A $1 million prize will be awarded nationally if someone correctly picks all the games. You can register now and fill out your bracket as soon as the pairings are announced Sunday night. You have until 15 minutes before the first game on March 21st to sign up. Meanwhile, Kentucky is one step closer to cracking down on drunk drivers. A bill is headed to the governor's desk that would require all DUI offenders to prove they're sober before driving. If he signs it into law, it would make ignition interlocks an option for first-time DUI offenders. The people would have the option of losing their license for 9 months or 6 months with a device attached to their car that makes them prove they are sober before it would start. And the ongoing dispute between teachers and our state government is far from over. Kentucky Education Commissioner Wayne Lewis sent a letter to 10 school districts. He's asking for teacher attendance records from recent sick-out days. The state teachers union calls it a scare tactic to silence teachers, but the Education Commissioner says it needs to be done.
They have the same right that I have to be at the Capitol and to protest and do whatever they need to do. What we don't have a right to do is to call in sick when we're not sick.
The Kentucky Education Association says they fear he's building an enemies list of educators and trying to silence them. In a statement, they ask, what is he trying to achieve? Who is he targeting? And why now? Individual FEMA assistance is not coming to Magoffin County after February's devastating flooding. Officials in Salyersville say many people who lost things in the flooding were counting on that money. They will receive public FEMA funds, though, to repair the roads. WYMT's Connor James is breaking down what this means and what comes next for the county.
A devastating day.
It is.
As Magoffin County
didn't have enough. Yeah, we fell short.
Did not meet the criteria for individual FEMA assistance.
70 to 80 homes had to be impacted.
That funding would have helped the many people with thousands of dollars in damage.
People were counting on, maybe getting some help, some funding, so they can get some of this stuff back, and not going to happen.
People like Jared Salyer.
So it's devastating to families around here not to get the FEMA funding.
Flooding hit near where he lives.
Salyer Branch, Route 7.
Destroying property.
Yeah, wash cupboards out and stuff.
He says many people with severe damage to their property can't afford to fix it themselves.
People lost homes, lost their homes, lost part of their land.
Now, the county did qualify for public assistance from FEMA.
Public assistance side, as far as roads and stuff, we are going to get some funding from that.
About $3 million will help with that. The individual assistance that would go to people impacted, though, that's not coming, but still.
It's better to have some funding than none at all.
Like I said, it's hard enough around here as it is, and with losing what they have to do with their homes, their land, and transportation even. This FEMA funding, it's what they depended on to help build back.
As people try and find a way to rebuild. In Magoffin County, Connor James, WYMT Mountain News.
Magoffin County's Emergency Management Director says to his knowledge, no counties ended up receiving individual FEMA assistance. And in the hospital for more than a week, a Leslie County toddler continues improving. Many in the community began fundraising for the family after they heard about 20-month-old Kaylin Lowe in the hospital with flu complications. Yesterday, students and teachers wore pigtails and pajamas in support of the little girl. They say those are some of her favorite things. Students donated $1 more, proudly showing off their sleepwear and their hairdos.
When we know that they're going through a very difficult time in their life, and it's much better if you got people standing behind you.
Workers at the school tell us they were able to raise more than $500 yesterday. Other schools in the county are also collecting money for the family. And several businesses in Letcher County have closed their doors in the past few months. Local business owner Josephine Richardson says running a small company has its challenges. Since moving to Letcher County in 1969, both she and her husband helped open 3 different businesses. Richardson says she loves running her store, but larger chains are hard to compete with.
What's difficult is our discount, because we buy in small volume, our discounts don't allow us to really mark down very much.
The mayor of Whitesburg says at the beginning of April, they will begin hosting car and bike shows once a month to bring more visitors to the area. A Southern Kentucky father was taken to jail after police say he let his toddler wander around alone outside. Michael Troy is facing wanton endangerment charges. The suspect tells us from jail it was just an accident. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more from Laurel County on the allegations.
31-year-old Michael Troy had to spend last night here at the Laurel County Detention Center. Police say that he was found asleep in the upstairs of his duplex, and his 3-year-old son was found walking alone by himself, actually on the front porch. This followed a 911 call being made by a passerby of the 3-year-old wandering down the road. When police say they arrived, they found the child on the front porch. Now, from jail, Troy says he had come home from working and went to sleep, and the boy was able to somehow get out of the house when the deadbolt was locked.
I know something bad could have happened from it, and I'm glad it didn't, but it's just embarrassing that I'm in here for it, really.
Yeah, but definitely the father should have had more control over the child, because that's our responsibility as parents and grandparents and guardians, is to see that our children don't get any harm.
Troy went to court Friday morning. He was in the process of making bail when I spoke to him from jail. He tells me that his son is in the custody of his mother in Danville. In Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Police also say the toddler was dirty and had a diaper that was in need of changing. And yesterday morning, a woman facing charges in a stabbing case pleaded not guilty. A Bell County grand jury indicted Tamara Jackson last week. Investigators say she stabbed a man in January. Jackson is charged with first-degree assault and tampering with physical evidence. Coming up on Mountain News this morning, after recent flooding and several days of repair, the Louisville Zoo and Mega Cavern are finally back open. More on that coming up. And later in sports, the Kentucky Wildcats are headed to the SEC semifinals. See how they got the win last night coming up.
And we are starting out this morning a little bit chilly, but will we see that continue? We'll break down the full forecast in just a few minutes.